Democratic Representative Leslie Herod said last night that she and other state lawmakers got it wrong when they increased penalties for fentanyl possession last year. It was a bipartisan effort. Our Anusha Roy asked Herod why she's been on both sides of this issue, and it's a chance to take a deeper look at that policy that impacts all of Colorado.
When we asked the mayoral candidates to raise their hand if they supported the change in law making possession of 1 to 4 grams of a drug with fentanyl a felony, it stood out that Democratic Representative Leslie Herod, who is running for Denver mayor, did not, since she voted in favor of the bill.
Past year, I did support it because we were going back to felonization, going from 0, and we were able to bring that up to 1.
And then she said,
however, as I'm looking at the statistics today, and I watched today, and yesterday, as Department of Corrections asked for more beds to fill with folks who are addicted without having enough providers to provide mental health services to those people, we were wrong. We didn't get it right.
That was a tough year last year.
Lisa Rayville with Harm Reduction Action Center has been loudly against this bill and said her worries are now true.
People are getting arrested. We've also seen some of the data coming out even in the first 6 months of folks getting arrested for felonization.
We took a closer look at where Herod got her information from. If you look at the Joint Budget Committee report, you see the Department of Corrections is asking for more money to get more beds because of a dramatic rise in the prison population. There are a whole bunch of reasons listed: state population, how people are sentenced, parole policies, and a list of legislation that includes HB 22-1326.
The law just went into effect, so even if someone had been charged with felony possession, that case would still be in its very early stages.
Boulder County's Democratic District Attorney Michael Doherty, who helped craft the law, said that he hasn't noticed a spike in felony possession cases in his office. But for him, the important part was always having more tools to go after dealers.
Is it frustrating or disappointing to see that somebody who had voted to make this law is now already saying, oh man, we made a mistake?
No, I was heartened by how many legislators voted to support the law. It was just a few months ago.
So today, Harris said that she doesn't really care how much of a factor the law is for her. If it's impacting the number of people ending up in prison in any capacity, that is a problem. Doherty said that a big part of the bill, too, is the millions that are being put into the harm reduction treatment centers, buying naloxone, all those programs. But at this point, it is just too early because there's all these measures, Kyle, to track the data, but we just don't have that data yet.
Yeah, I mean, I could see somebody looking at this and saying, well, she's just saying what she has to say now because she's running for Denver mayor. I mean, talk is cheap. Legislation is not. I mean, she's still in the legislature, could still bring a bill to do something if she wants to, but she'd need to be able to convince a majority. So what are they looking at in terms of legislation?
Yeah, okay, so there is stuff that is being introduced now because they were realizing there were gaps in the original fentanyl law. So one of the things Lisa has talked about for months now is that people were getting scared to call 911 because they were afraid if you call during an overdose and they show up and they find fentanyl, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get arrested. So now there's a bill that's being introduced to clarify what the Good Samaritan law is and expand it to include fentanyl so that people aren't worried about calling 911. And they said specifically they did it because they realized that was a problem coming out of that original fentanyl law. Now that we actually see it in practice. We've seen a couple changes after we see what happens in practice with laws around fentanyl. Anusha, thank you.